Okay, we are going to get started with August Club Q kit. It's simply called Summer, and it is a perfect page for all your summer photos. This one is a little bit unique in the fact that it has, you can add 6 photos, but then it has space here that you can do a bunch of smaller ones, one big one. There's lots of options with that extra big piece there for a photo. The Powder Puff chalking inks that we suggest are Mango Mai Tai, Turquoise, and Blue Topaz. Obviously this one has lots of color in it, so you choose the colors that work for you. Some people like the more antique look where you can add some brown chalk to it. We also have brown buttons that go with it, so if you want to make it a little more antique looking, you could use amaretto or mocha. Latte is kind of a light sand color. Totally up to you. You choose what works for you. And we are going to get started first by doing any of the cutting diagrams. There's not a full cutting diagram, but there are a couple of pieces that we need to cut. So there is a 5x12. So there's 2 pieces here. You want to take the 5x12, which is actually the smaller one. This one is 5.5 by 12. So the 5x12, the smaller of the 2, we are going to cut that one into 3 4x5 pieces. Okay, so go ahead and bring your cutter in. We are going to trim this one into, so it's at 5. We're going to turn it sideways and cut it at 4. And it doesn't really matter what the print is on this. Most of the print is going to be covered up with photos, but you can see just kind of the edge. So it doesn't matter really what's on here. It's going to be covered up with photos. It's just so that it gives a little color around the edge of your photo. Okay, so once you cut those at 4, then you have 3 4x5 pieces. And really, this is the only cutting that we have to do in this one, except for you want to cut out your words. And these this one you cut so you leave a little white border. You can see there's a cut line that's gray on the outside of that. If you did cut off that white border, no big deal. It's still gonna look great. Cut out your pieces, and at any time hit pause and take your time, go at your own pace. Hit play when you're ready. You can also chalk things up as you go. We're just going to kind of start layering things. I'm not going to glue any of this down until I have things in the place that I want, just because some of this stuff is kind of overlapping. Your 4x5 photo mats. We're going to chalk these up too, but I'm just kind of getting them in place. This one is a little over 1 inch up from the bottom. If you want to do it exactly like we have in the picture, this one is a little less than 1 inch, and then this one is about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. So they're kind of, you can see, kind of offset here. We have these chalked up with orange, some kind of orange. I have Mango Mai Tai here, but if you want to bring out more of the teals and greens, you go right ahead with your maybe your Baja or your turquoise or the Blue Topaz. It's much more like a bright blue, but it looks really pretty with this also. But we chalked ours up in orange, so I'm going to go ahead and use this Mango Mai Tai and just brighten it up a little bit here. I love the teals and the aqua colors in here, so if you decide to do that. That will look just as nice. And if you want to, you can glue these down. You just want to make sure that if you don't have photos in them yet, just don't glue the part where it's overlapping something so that you still have the space to put a photo in. If that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and glue mine down. Tack them down to the page. If you don't have photos yet, like I said, make sure that you don't overlap the edges too much with glue so that you can still get your photos in there. And this one's a little less than 1 inch from the bottom. I have about 1/4 inch from the side. This one is a little over 1 inch from the bottom and 1/4 inch from the side. And then this one, actually I'm going to do it this way, is about 1/4 inch from the bottom and then just centered. Okay. So we are going to, I think I'm going to just finish page 1 first. So I'm going to grab my letters here. The inside comes out of the white. You can save these letters if you want. You could use these on a whole different page. And then we find the background that goes with it. This might be the wrong way. There we go. And go ahead and put a little adhesive at the top and bottom. It doesn't really have to be tacked down all the way. Once you get it in a page protector, it's going to lay flat. Go ahead and glue these all together. And I want to show you, if you wanted to chalk some of this up with a color, you could. Just gives a little extra color to it. Like if you want the oranges to come out more, go ahead and use an orange. If you want some teals to come out more, use the blues and teals. This one just kind of brightens it up with the oranges. Oops. Okay, and these I'm just going to lay out for right now until I get them layered up correctly, okay? Just go ahead and get the backgrounds behind all of your letters, okay? I usually have my Barely Art glue. I ran out. And the Barely Art glue has a really like small precision tip, which makes it easy to do these kind of. This one is tucked underneath here. And you can line these up any way that works for you. I'm going to kind of follow the picture on the instructions, but you arrange whatever works for you. Adhesive. I think I'm running out of this one too. I need to restock my desk here at home. This one's kind of overlapping like this. Sounds like my dog's saying hi to you today. I don't know if you can hear him in the background, but he's usually pretty quiet until somebody walks by our property. We have a big field behind our house that he thinks is our property. I don't think I'm going to have quite enough room, so I need to, this is why I'm just kind of laying them out, just to make sure I have these in the space that I need. Get it glue. And a lot of times I'll lay things out just without any adhesive on it, because I feel like once I get my pictures on there also, I may not want to overlap certain parts of it. So if we just start gluing it down, sometimes it glues in a spot where we have a photo. Okay, so definitely need to scoot these over. And I'm kind of going off the photo here, how it's kind of just layered up. But you spread it out however it works for you. And it looks like the E is actually underneath this. And then the last one is the R. And on the R, you're going to use that inside piece. So make sure you don't toss that. And I'm not using a whole lot of glue here. You'll probably want to put a few more dots on than I did so that it does lay down a little more flat. And it looks like the R is underneath here. And again, if you do want them brighter, just remember to chalk them up before you put the letters or the background behind the letters. Okay, and then your flowers that go right along here, there should be 3. You want 3 of the larger size. I'm just going to lay those out and then we'll chalk those up. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong, hang on. I forgot that I had punched these out earlier. These are the 3 largest size. Okay, so right out of the center of those frames, we're gonna punch those out. And if you don't have a lot of room, you can mix up the flowers however it works for you. I think I might actually do one larger one there, the way I have mine set up. And then 2 smaller ones on the side of it. I don't know, these might, I think the larger ones are meant for here. I just have mine set up so there's not a lot of space. Let's see. Oh yeah, they could totally overlap. So the 3 largest. And then save that outside piece for your frame for the second page. And put the 3 largest right here. And then there is one size smaller that goes right on the top of that. And I'm looking for my, I think I'm going to use, so this is jade. I think I'm going to use this for the flowers. It looks like in our photo we probably used turquoise and we used a really bright blue on there. Or blue topaz. I think it was probably turquoise that we used here. I'm going to use jade because it has a little more green in it and I like that color. And then I will also use mango mai tai and add some orange to it. So go ahead and chalk up your flowers. I'm going to do one blue, and then 2 orange on the outside of it. And I know I show this trick almost in every photo that, or every video that we have flowers, but I love doing this because it gives it a little extra boost, a little extra dimension, a little lift to the flowers. So you just make a little crease in each petal. And you'll see once you get it layered up, this really gives it a lot of extra lift and dimension there. These can all kind of layer up. And then on the middle of this one, I'm going to do the Mango Mai Tai. Fold these up again, just a little bit down the center of the petal. That can be glued in the center there. And then I'm going to do the jade color or turquoise or whatever you're using on the tops of the others. And go ahead and put a little dot of glue there in the middle. And then after this, the only other thing that you need on this page is your little flourishes, and they just kind of tuck one here, one down the side. There's 2 flourish pieces for each page. So, my alarm going off. Forgot to turn that off today. Okay, so put your flourishes in by just putting a few little dots of glue here, and then I just tuck it up underneath. And out the top here, just for a little extra decoration. And basically your first page is done. You'd want to just add your little buttons to the front of your flowers, and then we will get started on this. Oh, here's your, this is the piece that I told you to save, so put that right over top there. First page is done. We'll get started on the second page. So on page 2, we have the other kind of floral-y paper. It's a 5.5 by 12. And in your laser cuts, the one that has the stripe and the orange on the other side, there's 2 strips that come off of that laser piece. And these are going to go right down the side of this piece here. So I am going to, this one needs to be adhered down about 1 inch from the left side. And then right next to it, each strip gets glued down here. And down the right side of that is your striped photo mats here. Go ahead and chalk up the edges of those, whatever color you would like. And then I kind of get them centered here. You can put the stripes going the same way. We have the one in the middle going the opposite way. And then your frames. So these frames are kind of oddly shaped. They're kind of fun, but they are oddly shaped. So what I would do is lay this on top of your photo, trace the corners on your photo. When you lift this up, then you cut just inside where you traced. So then your photo will fit exactly behind here, and all these little pieces, it'll still have parts of your photo showing. So trace onto your photo, just on the outside here. Once you lift this up, you cut just on the inside of where you traced. And then your photo goes behind there. There's a frame for each piece. And turn these any way you would like. They can all go different ways if you want. Let's see here, what am I? Oh, your words that go on top, you can chalk those up as well. I just had it in my hand here. There it is. So this can either go top, bottom, on the end of a photo. We have it just added to the top here. Your words over here, once you get your picture on, you can either cut your picture so that it only goes to about here and this can go at the bottom, or your words can go right over one of your photos. It depends on how much of your photo you want to cover up. But these words can go right on the bottom here. If you don't want to cover up any of it, just move it down even further. And then on the second page, the next biggest flower, you have one kind of medium-sized flower left. I'm punching these out here. This is what you have left. So this biggest one is going to go in the corner here. Go ahead and chalk it up and bend the petals. The next biggest is going to go right in the middle of that one. And then you have two smaller ones that go along the side here. So on here, you can either put 2, 3 photos here. You can put one large 5x7. It kind of depends on how much of this you still want to show, what pictures you have. The last little piece to the page is the flourishes, and you can just tuck those in wherever you want there so that it doesn't totally cover up your photo either. We typically try to do the layouts so that you can slide photos in later with any of our classes. So these you could probably glue down. You would just want to put a photo up here. And you have buttons to put on the inside of here, and your page is complete. I hope you enjoyed August Club Q and all the fun colors. We will see you next month. Thanks so much for being a Club Q member.